It's a great start, wasn't it, people? Forgot to turn on the mic, or turn on my camera, should I say. Listen, hit the like button, subscribe and share if you're new. Welcome back to Norski TV and the What's Going On podcast, people. It's good to be back. A lovely sunny background, slightly different change of room, because straight after this show, I will be doing the watch along for the Real Madrid game. So I'm on a tight schedule. I'll be kicking off that stream at 7:50 p.m. But we're going to be here talking all things football, the Premier League, and obviously the plight of certain teams. You know what I mean? We have to talk about Man United. That's always the case. I don't think we ever go without a stream talking about Man United. So, look, we've got to talk about it. And I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to bring in Mr. Big D. So let me just add him to the screen. Yes, sir. What are you saying?
Yes, I'm all right, man.
You're good?
Pretty good? Yeah.
Yeah, man. On a tight schedule today.
Man.
As you well know, man. I'm hoping
that
some other people will join us. If not, we will kick on. How you doing?
Me, I'm doing all right, matey. Doing all right. Time just went as usual. I was just like,
man.
What?
Yeah, I know. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, trying to set up the other stream, get the all the score lines and all that business, the time and all that. My son's supposed to be here. He's down, goals kicking ball. So it's what it is, man. You know what I mean? So hopefully he will get back on time. But listen, we're gonna kick on with today's show, Big D, and we have got quite a lot to discuss, but we need to discuss it in quick time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
We're gonna talk about it. So listen, on the menu, guys, as you well know, we always talk about the Premier review and the player ratings, how players have got on this weekend, various teams, how they've got on this weekend. Also, we're going to be probably looking at some ref watch. If there's some dodgy decisions that we feel that we need to bring up, then Big D, feel free to talk about it. Or if we're in the chat, feel free to talk about it. And also, this is one for you, Big D. Roy Keane calls out the manager and players, Soundbites and a bunch of bluffers, mate. You know what I mean? He's going in hard on your team, Man United, who have just now lost their 14th game, -7 goal difference, go to Newcastle and get their bottoms slapped. Absolutely slapped. You know what I mean? So we will be talking about that. I'm sure you're going to be putting in your 2 bobs worth. And also, how bad is it got to get before Ange Postecoglou gets the chop? And lastly, what's going on prediction result game week 32. And what's going on fantasy prem shout out by Big D. So we're gonna go into the show. So listen, Big D. First of all, just before, I don't know if you watched the game yesterday, Aston Villa. I thought they were going to do it.
Just bits of it, and then I was listening to it on the radio heading into the office.
Yeah.
So I actually thought this was going to go. I thought he was going to go with penalties. I thought they were going to go extra time. And
I thought PSG were going to turn into the typical bottlers that they do. You know what I mean? The amount of times that they bottled leads like this. You know what I mean? The Barcelona, I remember being 4-0, winning 4-0, going to Barcelona and getting beaten. So, I thought, Enrique might mess this one up because, listen, it wasn't great defending by Aston Villa yesterday. You thought once they scored them 2 goals, you think that's the game.
Yeah, the first half was a shocker, wasn't it?
And are you frozen, D? Are you frozen? Was it me? I think I might be frozen. Am I frozen? Or was it you?
No, we're both good on my end, which is really weird.
Yeah, you just froze. I don't know. I was talking. I don't know what's going on there, but I was just saying that with Aston Villa. That game yesterday was mad. I thought, as you said, D, I thought they were going to come back and do it and go to penalties. But I think the first leg really kind of, PSG put it to bed in the first leg. Listen, they made a fist of it, Aston Villa. Called up by Konza when he missed that header to equalise. And then maybe to take it to extra time, but I think it was just a bridge too far for these guys.
As I was saying, just fine margins, and like you say, that first leg hurt them.
Yeah,
I think if that was a closer first leg, then I think because he's got them well organised. You got to tip your hat to him that he hasn't spent a truckload of money, but he's got decent players in. He's given Rashford a run out. I mean,
well, you think about the way he's taken Aston Villa from 17th, under Steven Gerrard, and to get them in potentially, in a semi-final. Obviously, they've missed out on that. They have spent a load of money, but done some good business in the January window. Some real, tactful business. In the January window. You know what I mean? So I'm saying, well done to that. You know what I'm trying to say. But you're saying about
Champions League's always tough. Rashford seems to have knuckled down, and sometimes it's just you just get a change of scenery, man. Like you've been at a club going on nearly a decade, and it gets stale. And I think all the side stuff as well, the stuff off the pitch as well, doesn't help. So for him, he's got to make that work, whether he stays at Villa or he goes elsewhere. He doesn't need to come back to Old Trafford. I think if he comes back, he knows the pressure of coming back there. If he thinks that playing at Villa on a Champions League night, he
throws it again.
Pressure then,
he
knows. Is it for real?
Yeah,
because for me, we're both good.
What's going on? I don't know if you want to come back in and come back out.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to jump out, Norm, if you can hear me.
Yeah, just keep. I don't know if it's my end. You keep freezing.
All right, I'll jump out.
Whilst you're sorting yourself out. That Aston Villa game, people. What a game. You know what I mean? A game. PSG, man. These guys, they're playing like Liverpool on steroids. You know what I mean? But the likelihoods is that, bro, we could meet them in the semi-finals. The PSG that we played in the group stages is not the same PSG that we're going to potentially meet in the semi-finals. And the game is nigh, people. Tonight, we go to Real Madrid, the Bernabeu. That's going to be a massive, massive game. And what I want to say is that we must go there and not play the occasion. I mean, I had Big D back. Is okay. Yeah. I'm just saying. Is it my end? She's saying it's my end.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because when you were saying to me, both you and me were moving. So I'm like, you're good, Norm. You said that my end was frozen.
So Jay, am I freezing or is it Big D that's freezing? When you're watching the stream, who's freezing? Is it me or Big D? Just put it back in the chat, please. You know what I mean?
You know what
I mean? I don't need this thing to be going wrong now. You know what I'm saying? I've plugged into the router and that. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
I just 2 days ago installed a new wireless router from Virgin. So I should be good with new technology, but you never know.
Yeah, let me just see. I'm just gonna open up my YouTube thing and see. If it's me that's freezing, man. Hold on a second. Let me just go here. Let me just go here. Okay, let's see how that works, because I've got my thing open. So if it does freeze, if it does freeze, then it freezes. But hopefully we should be good. But So just saying. Oh, no one. No. Oh, she's saying no one's freezing. Okay, fair play.
Okay, cool.
Play then. Okay, that's cool. But look. D. So where was we after that? That interruption. What was we talking about? Was it the Aston Villa?
Yeah, Aston Villa.
Oh no, it's about us. And me, and Arsenal going to Real Madrid. Yes, big up AFC. What you saying, man? Big up to you, man.
Yes,
massive game tonight.
Yeah.
This stream is going to be a quick stream, because at 7:50 I will be doing the watch along for Real Madrid against the Arsenal. And let me say this now. I'm not going to go over there and think, it's going to be any pushover. Yes, we have a 3-0 lead. Yeah, you saw what happened yesterday. Borussia Dortmund, putting 3 past Barcelona.
Exactly.
I mean, so I'm not taking this. I'm not placing the Arsenal team is out. AFC, share that on there. Just put that in the chat so I can see. I'm going to look at One Football to have a look. That will actually be interesting. Hopefully, Partey is in the side. Let's see whether it's confirmed on here. Lineup. Is it confirmed lineup?
No, it's not confirmed. It's showing who's injured for some reason, but it's not
Yeah,
showing.
I've just got him one. You want
That's
one
weird,
football?
isn't it? Yeah, same thing. Yeah. Okay.
What's one football doing, man?
Yeah,
Listen, 8 people in the building. Hit the like button, subscribe and share if you're new. Listen, if you know what it is, big up, man. Big up, man. If you're new, big up, Jason. What you saying, bro? Bro, listen.
Big up yourself, man.
The night is the night. Yeah, Arsenal, please do not let me down because, bro, if we go there and lose and let go of a 3-0 lead, Kivior's got to be on it. Skelly's got to be on it, these guys are going to be playing in their backyard, Jude Bellingham's coming out and saying something in Spanish about, they're going to be doing the comeback thing.
Oh, is that what he's doing, is he?
Yeah, they're going to close the roof for that. But I'm saying, let's not go
so
there.
What's that about closing the roof, Norm?
I don't know. I don't know. It could just be a lot of. Listen, they're doing their PR thing, so let them do their PR thing. I'm not going to get involved. Arsenal do it, but the difference with Real Madrid is when they do their PR, they got 15 Champions League titles behind their name. Yeah, exactly. So they have the right to do it. You understand? We ain't won nothing yet, bro. You get me? So let's go there. Let's think, concentrate because. You know what I mean? We cannot chuck away a 3-0. The first 15, 20 minutes is going to be absolutely massive. Yeah, we got to keep that crowd quiet. If we get an early goal, then I think that's the game. That's the tie done. Yeah, but I'm not gonna. You know what I mean, I'm not
gonna score 5 past you guys. They're not scoring 5.
The worry is though, the worry is if they score first. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? Had you looking a little different, but yeah.
Okay, question from AFC. Who would have had a better season, Liverpool for winning the league or Arsenal if they won the Champions League? Bro, that's a good question, you know.
That's a question.
That is a good question. I'll tell you what. I don't like this word context, but I'm going to use the context, you know what I mean? This would be the first time Arsenal, would have won a Champions League. So for me, I'm going to say, in my world, in my Arsenal world, I'll say we had the better season only because we won the Champions League. Only, listen, look, Liverpool, to be honest, D, when you look at the league this season, it hasn't been the best, has it?
Nah, it's probably been probably the worst league.
It's one of the worst league. I mean, we could have the lowest, in terms of Liverpool winning it. If we lose against Ipswich this weekend and Liverpool win, I think they'll score, was it 76 points? That would be like one of the second lowest. I think Man United did it back in 75 points.
75 points,
Yeah, I think it was 75 points they won it on. So, look, if they win all their games, I think they'll max out at 94 points. But for us, we properly regressed. Yeah, we've stagnated and we regressed. And we've got a chasing pack behind us. So there's no guarantee of us getting a second place trophy, people. Yeah, but it's not about it. It's about Champions League tonight. We need to get through this, this tie, second leg, and then we're going to see what happens against PSG. So for me, I think in my world, lifting that Premier League, that Champions League title, for me, it will be a success. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, if it's never been done, that will be a big deal for Arsenal.
I know some people will turn and say, the word out would be, mitigating circumstances, injuries, referee decisions, and all of that would have been against us. So some people,
but that's every season, though, Norm, isn't it?
I think every season for every club.
I think, if you look at the team that very rarely the team that wins the league doesn't have things go for them, whether it be key decisions, a season where none of their top players get injured, all these kind of things. There's always factors. It's very rarely that it's just that they won the league and there was no narratives in regards to like for you, you know what I mean, you look at the whole Saka thing. What was he, 2.5, 3 months out? Yes, Junior. Was it 3 months, wasn't he?
Yeah, about
see, that's a long time to not have your star boy. That's a long time.
But the thing is, but I don't want people to say that because remember, he got injured, right? It was I believe it was either end of December or beginning of January. Yeah. But that wasn't the reason why we lost the league, because prior to him playing, we wasn't challenging. So I don't want to.
Yeah,
it was never. Let's just face it. I was on Aaron's stream a couple of days ago, and he showed us some stats. We was never ever in a title race this season. As simple as that. We was never in a title race. Yeah. We was never in a title. He showed us the facts. Yeah, and if you get to go back and watch his stream, you know, he speaks about it, and when you present facts, there's not a lot you can say. You know what I mean? We haven't been in a title race. We've not been in a title race. Liverpool were pretty much. I mean, put it this way: you've been at the top of the league. We haven't.
You imagine, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it was like literally 48 hours or something.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. You know what I'm trying to say. What's this? Did you hear at Villa Park?
Yeah, I saw this.
League stream instead. Yeah, I heard that. I was wondering. What was that all about?
Well, you had to wonder whether they announced the DJ guy was actually trolling it, because that made no sense. That you didn't know what tournament you were in. You know what I mean? Especially all the hype that comes around with Champions League with the big logo in the middle of the pitch and all that. You're like, bro, just look at the logo and know that you're in the Champions League, mate. It's good.
Yeah.
But look, I imagine the fans had a chuckle with that.
I love to rattle on about Arsenal and the fact that it is a massive game tonight. You know, we must not go there and play the occasion. Nah. Just calmer. All those top gooners, calm down. I'm hearing some guys that, we're going to go there. Real Madrid are not going to be a problem. Let's not let this come back and bite us on the butts, people. We cannot let this bite us on the butts. We got to go there
and not to panic either, Norm.
Yeah, not to panic.
Even if you go 1-0 down, don't panic.
But D, if you watched Arsenal, and you've watched Real Madrid have been brilliant this season. But how would you approach Real Madrid going to the Bernabeu? How do you think Arsenal should play? Do you think they should sit back, soak up the pressure, or do you think they should? You know, I don't know. Go for it. I don't know.
But this is my thing. If you sit back in a low block and invite that pressure, they will score. For me, he has to play in the mid block and just win that midfield battle. Make them work for everything. You know, similar to what you did in the first game. I think sitting back is very dangerous because you know they got scorers, Norm. And if they score a quick goal, and you sit back and they get a second, then boy, anything can happen. For me, I wouldn't. I would go and play. I would go and play the game. I'm not saying being reckless, but step up into the mid block and make them work. Don't sit back and invite it.
Yeah, mid block.
Regardless of the 3-0, don't invite the pressure because it just takes one mistake. You go 1-0 down, and then suddenly head start to overthink it and. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, AFC is saying play everybody behind the ball, but to play everything in a low block or in a mid block. D saying a mid block. What were you saying?
Mid block. Yeah, don't play in a low block. Yeah, I mean,
well, listen.
Arsenal on the counter attack is laughable.
We haven't got the quick. I mean, listen. I saw that Raya against Brentford. That was I think that's one of the few times I've seen Arsenal break like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But and to be honest, just talking about that Brentford game, I've got a problem with Arteta and his man management playing. You know. Partey at right back. Yes, we didn't have Ben White. Yeah, that's why man was coming out with holding his groin, because I was thinking this man is running these guys into the red zone, right? These guys are running these men into the red zone, and you know he asked to come off because he felt like a nigger. I don't think it was in his groin. Yeah, great goal, great breakaway, and everything. But yeah, we're not that kind of. We play in front of the opposition. We don't really do that. You know.
This whole.
I know we did it against Man City, you know, at the Emirates, but how often do we counter-attack?
Yeah.
You know, and we try and break teams down. That's why we find it difficult to break down low blocks and mid blocks.
Yeah, because as well, Norm, if you sit in a low block, then you're forced to become a counter-attacking team. A bit like what we do with, you know what I mean? And so I just think it's dangerous. I think if they see that, they're going to think, how are these men 3-0 up and sitting so deep, inviting us on? There's a whole psychological thing going on there. Yeah, sit in the mid block, play the game, look to score as well. There's no harm in scoring.
Oh yeah, no, we have to.
You know what I'm saying?
We have to. I don't want us to try and protect that 3-0. Yeah, because that would be detrimental. Yeah. You saw what happened when we tried to protect that 2-1 lead after what's the name got sent off. Trossard got sent off away to Man City.
Man City,
they're going to
eventually they're going to score.
Pressure. Listen, they haven't got a brilliant defense, so we need to get at their defense. They've got, Cameron Vinger's out suspended, so they're not going to have that. What's the name? Tuamedi's come back. Last week, we was running that midfield. Partey ran that midfield. Declan Rice with a fantastic 2 free kicks. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. But we've got to go there and just play with some sense and don't play the occasion. Yeah, you got the likes of Lewis Skelly, who's a lot of these players, maybe Moreno, Odegaard in his younger days playing at the Bernabeu. Obviously Partey's played there. You know what I mean? But a lot of these players have not experienced this level of pressure. And that's what I'm trying to say. The pressure is going to be insurmountable, right? Yeah. Because one thing about Arsenal, when we've seen it in the Premier League, when we're meant to get over the line, we can't do it. Yeah. And tonight it's about us getting it over the line. Can we do it? We're gonna need some leaders on that part. That includes Martin Odegaard, or as I like to call him, Martin Snotgard or Ghostergaard. He has to come out, and be a captain tonight and not hide. I don't want to see this guy hiding. Yeah, I don't want to see him hiding. My mate went to see him. They were at the Brentford game, right? And he said when he came on the pitch, the game turned. Like the guy didn't bring nothing to the table. Didn't bring nothing to the table. Yeah, he was hiding.
So, do you think he starts Saka today, Norm?
Yeah, of course he's going to start him.
Is he going to start him? No, because you never know with this guy.
No, he will start him.
You think he'll start him?
Okay, he will start him, right? Last week we didn't think he was going to start him. We know because it's a massive game. He will start him tonight. Yeah, because I think Saka, is one of those guys that can change the game. Listen, I still feel that he's playing with 70%. You know what I mean? He's not fully fit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Is it going to be one of these cases?
And that's why I'm asking, because I know he's not fully fit.
No, he will play him. He's going to play him. He's going to play him. He's going to play him. I can mark my word. I mean, the team news is out, but I still can't open up the thing to see. So if anybody knows who the team is, let me know. William Shekar is saying Skelly's clumsy at times, but he's proven to step up in big moments. England, Man City, first leg, Madrid. Yeah, let's hope he keeps up. Yeah, and that's it. That's what we got to hope for. He's young, and I don't want the occasion to get to him. That is my thing. I do not want the occasion. So starting lineup is already out. Saka, Martinelli, and Moreno up front, as we're going to know that. Cool. So in the midfield, I'm hoping that Partey and Deckers is there, and the back four will be Timber. Obviously, it's going to be Saliba, Kivior next to him, and Lewis Skelly, and then obviously the midfield three of Odegaard, Partey, and Rice. Yeah. So here we have it now. So it's Raya, Timber, Skelly, Saliba, Kivior, Partey, Rice, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, Moreno. So Moreno, our internal solution, will be the one that's playing up front, even though he doesn't. Listen, he's a very good finisher, but at the end of the day, he's a midfielder. Yeah, I mean, he's a midfielder. Yeah. Is it going to be another Decker special? Is it going to be one of his special where he hits that and puts the game to bed? Who knows? Who's starting for Real Madrid? I'm going to try and go on One Football and see whether I can see.
I just went on there and it's not showing anything yet.
They're not doing it.
Whatever reason, it's not.
What's going on with them? What's going on with them?
It's like they're dragging their heels. It's just showing people that are injured for some reason.
Yeah, man, so, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But yeah, if you do see the Real Madrid side, put it in the chat as well. So just get an idea. We know Camavinga is out. Let's go here. I agree. Moreno's great striking the ball, but his movement is meaty, and that is it. He's not a natural striker. Yeah. But if he's in the right place at the right time, he's got a better finish than Kai Havertz. 100%. This man has got 6-7 goals now in 9. So you know what I mean. People can kind of correct me on that, but he's scoring for fun at the moment. You know what I mean. So let's hope that he does something tonight.
I'm looking at. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Go on. What are you saying?
No, so I'm looking at Madrid. They're going Quarta, Alaba, Bellingham, Vinicius, Valverde, Mbappe, Rodri, Tchouameni, Lucas Vasquez, and Rudiger, and Raúl Asensio. Is that you say?
Yeah.
Okay, they're gone strong. Yeah, they're gone strong.
They're gone strong.
Yeah. Oh, they got no choice, man.
They got no choice. They got no choice. Yeah.
Here's a question: If you when you guys knock them out, does Don Carlo get canned?
Listen, the fans are calling for his head now.
I know.
I mean, I was on a stream with a guy called Sam, Real Madrid, the Bronco, and he goes, regardless if he wins it or not, he wants him out.
What's it gone?
He wants
Man,
him gone.
Send Don Carlo Huawei. I'll take Don Carlo still. You know,
I'll take him. Send
him back to England. Man. Send him back to England.
I'll
If
take
man
him.
don't want him, I'll have him, mate.
But you know what? Let's move on to that. I know you would take him, D. And why would you take him? Is it because of this? Hold on a second. Is it because of this? Listen, you went to Newcastle. You got absolutely bamboozled. Yeah. So let me just show this first one here. So this is from Gary Neville. Yeah. And I know you don't like to hear from him, but has he got a point? Yeah. Neville said at the start of the game, well, let's read the title. Man United, they're not a very good team. Yeah. Gary Neville and Roy Keane deliver a verdict on a desperate situation concerning Man United. Sky Sports, Gary Neville said, at the start of the game, if Newcastle play well, Man United will get beat. They're not a very good team. It's as simple as that. They are so below standard and quality. You need to come all over the pitch. It's really a desperate situation. You then look at Amorim's record in all competitions, right? Can you see that on your screen?
Yeah.
Right, that's in all competitions. Yeah, all competitions. Have a look at. Everybody have a browse at that. Have a browse at that. Yeah. Right. Then we go to this one. This is in the Premier League. They're saying that he's statistically, if I can say, the worst Man United manager, barring Fergie's post Fergie. 21 games, 23 points. Yeah. Win rate of 28.5%. Second, first. No. I mean, Ragnick is behind him. 5 draws, 10 losses, and 6 wins.
We can't put Ragnick in that. You know, you can't put Ragnick in that.
Well, they're putting him in there because here's another thing. Here's another thing with it. Why can't you?
And he's worse than Ragnick because this guy's coming, right? As in Ruben's coming as a manager. The players knew that Ragnick was just a stopgap. So this was the performances. I can't put Ragnick in that mix.
He's managing. You have to put him in there. He was managing the club. He 24
games. But I think the narrative changes it, Norm. It's like anything. If it's like at work, you get a temporary. It's like a school supply teacher. Everybody's just acting up because they know this guy is a supply teacher. He's there for 2 days. He was there for the week. The way you act with a supply teacher, you don't dare try and play your regular teacher like that because you know you're going to live in the headmaster's office. I think it's the same thing. These players knew that Ralph knew what he was talking about, but they said he's gone in the summer. We can do what we want pretty much. He can't get us fired. If he drops us, so what? In the summer. So I look at that and say it's a different narrative. And everything Ralph said, I backed him. I backed Ralph because Ralph knew what he's talking about. I even said, put Ralph upstairs, director of football. And whoever, whether it was Ten Hag, didn't want him. And see, he still got himself fired. So Ten Hag should have taken Ralph as his director of football and still be a manager at Man United playing some decent football and having Ralph's black book to go get some talent that Ralph was talking about. But see, arrogance again, which I'm seeing a bit with Ruben, this arrogance is mad. Because I'm like, bro, just win games. I don't care if you win ugly. Like, just win games. Just get us to the end of the season without looking this horrible. Because I reckon over half the fan base have already turned on Ruben, Norm.
Oh, absolutely. People that,
some of these podcasters
guys,
with 100,000 followers are saying, yeah, get this guy out of my club.
Get him out. Get him out.
Like,
I mean, is that fair on him? Because when he came in, everybody was like, yeah, he's going to turn the fortunes around. But is he spitting off more than he can chew? I mean, he's taken on a massive club. Look, the players, it's the same players yet again. Is it the players letting down, or is it just that, as Roy Keane said, bunch of bluffers, they just like sound bites. Gary Neville's come out and turned around and said that they just ain't very good. They're not good. They're not good.
Yeah, because if you look, every manager, and that's why I'm not putting Ralph in that. Every manager has got over a 50% win rate.
Yeah, I know that.
Apart from, and this is what I was saying to you about Ralph on 41 is because they threw him under the bus from the offset. where at least I feel they gave all these other managers a fairly good go. Because if you look, like, yeah, Ten Hag 51%. So everyone initially said, yeah, Eric's all right. And I think when those that were Sancho fans within that team that liked Sancho as, whatever, when the Eric Ten Hag thing started with Sancho, then you saw certain players not showing up for the manager, and it's a habit that they've got used to doing. We saw them down tools on Jose. Van Gaal, for me, Van Gaal should have stayed. I think that was a huge mistake. David Moyes, I think, was out of his depth. Plus, the senior players just didn't fancy him. So I think he was on a hiding to nothing, trying to come in and be in Fergie's shadow from the outget. I think Van Gaal was the one that would have attracted the right kind of players. And you remember as well, he won the FA Cup and got fired. So it's not like he was thinking a joint up. And he said it. He said the press got him fired because the press didn't like that he stood up to them. And you're seeing Ruben stand up to the press and taking the pressure. The moment you stand up to the British press, they're going to do everything in their powers to get you on that cross. So if the ownership and the board decide in the summer, like, Ruben, we've watched what you've done with a squad and it's not much. How are we going to give you 200 million to spend? I think that's where they're at now. Now he talks like he's confident of not getting fired, so maybe he knows something that the fan base don't know. Now, if it's the case of that, they just said, you know what, season's a write-off. We had to get rid of Eric, and we forced you to come now rather than in the summer. Because remember, he didn't want to come now. Well, not now, but he didn't want to come in December. He said no.
So do you think then, just based on what you've just said there, do you think the owners are throwing Ruben under the bus?
Yeah, big time. Yeah, because you force the man in and you don't get him a striker in January. Get him a lone striker, just a lone striker that can bang goals in until the end of the season. And then now
Zertsky's out for the season now.
Yeah, so Zertsky's the other one that looks half decent in terms of what he brings in creativity and holding the ball up. Now we're back to Rasmus, who's so nervous that nothing sticks to him. And so I would have called their bluff if I was Ruben. I'd be like, listen, I'll see you in the summer. Because I'm telling you now, they would have waited in the end because they would have had no choice. You just let what's his name? Who's it? Van Persie.
Yeah.
Not Van Persie. What was it? Leicester boss.
Oh,
Van Nistelrooy.
Yeah.
Van Nistelrooy. I'll take Persie. Van Nistelrooy. You let Van Nistelrooy just stay till the summer, knowing that Ruben's coming.
Yeah.
And just see, because they play different sorts of football. And maybe with what was there, like, you just roll your luck and you scramble to a top 10 finish and see how far you would have gone in the in Europa League.
Man said, "Will I take Ollie at Arsenal?"
Ollie, you know, he's doing all right anyway. Where he is now, Jason,
he's doing okay.
He's doing all right.
Yeah. But
Ollie at the World.
I don't want no Man United man at my club. You understand? Yeah, I don't. No. Ollie, listen, it's not going to be another, because this guy's got experience, people. Yeah, he's got experience and that, but I just don't think. Would he be another yes man? Probably. Do you know what I mean? He probably would. He'd probably be another yes man. But no, I wouldn't take him.
For me, like, just looking at what you got here as well, Norm. Like, you imagine Van Gaal with Ralph as his director of football. Them two are cooking, bro. Trust me. It's a different Man United. And most of the players that we're seeing there, Calvin, build yourself, bro. Most of the players you're seeing there are not at Old Trafford if the combination is Van Gaal and Ralph as director of football. But look at all the in between. Mourinho, mercenary. Ollie, just not good enough. Ten Hag, delusional. He can't play style of football because he ain't got the players. Now Ruben's saying a similar thing. These players can't play my system.
Yeah.
So these players couldn't play Eric Ten Hag's system, and they can't play Ruben's. So is it manager? Is it player? you remember Ralph was playing that mad one, that 4-2-2-2 or whatever it was. That's what Ralph was playing. So you couldn't play Ralph's system, you couldn't play Eric Ten Hag's system, and you currently can't play Amrin's system. That's footballing IQ, right? Or is it that these managers need to adapt to the clientele that they got, or the talent that they got, or lack of talent? Because Ruben doesn't like to play the technical players. He likes the power and pace merchants. Power and pace merchants can't even hold the ball up. Can't even put a decent cross in.
Yeah.
So I'm playing my technical players, even though one of them got no legs in Ericsson. I'm still playing him because he's going to create something, legs or not. Casemiro, the same thing. You watch what he did there. Newcastle, Norm, are probably the most physical midfield three in the league.
Yeah.
And you played Ericsson there.
Yeah, that was mad.
You're like, brother,
that's crazy.
Play
man.
Ericsson in the 10. Play Ericsson in the 10 and play Bruno
do that?
in the pivot. This is what I'm saying, Norm. He's screaming too many red flags right now. I'm not saying fire the manager, but bro, some of these losses are on him.
JP, big up, man. What you saying, man? He says, I think the best thing for us in the manager coming in when he did, if he came in the summer, he'd feel he had as to give the current squad a chance. He now knows they are crap.
Exactly, JP.
Yep.
Yeah. Exactly
that's it. That's what I'm saying. He's bitten off more than he can chew. But I as you said, D, I put it down to the owners. Yeah. They rushed him in. Yeah. He needed more time, with the squad. You're coming in and you're having to work with scraps. Yeah. Roy Keane come out there. Roy Keane has said it. Gary Neville said they can't, they don't understand the system. They can't play his system. Ruben knows this. So he's got to try and do the best he can.
Yeah, but Norm, you saying that, they couldn't play Eric's system. They couldn't play Ralph's system. What Ollie did was like, guys, go out there and express yourselves. And it kind of worked for Ollie until it didn't.
So we're going back to the fact that
three managers.
But it means that Ruben is not really flexible then in terms of his thinking, and it's like a bit like Arteta when it comes to his formation. He won't move away from the 4-3-3 and try and be tactful in that sense.
But same as Ralph though. Ralph played that 4-2-2-2. He didn't change. What was it every time? Eric was playing 4-3-3, wasn't he?
Yeah.
No.
4-2-3-1. 4-2-3-1.
Yeah. Right. So that's freelance 1-2. That's three different systems that these players can't play now. But they're professional footballers. Come on, man. Because it's like you just keep failing your driving test now. Yep. Doesn't matter what driving instructor you go to, you keep failing. You've had 5 driving instructors. You still ain't won the league. Well, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Calvin's saying Man United should forget the new stadium and spend it on the squad.
Right, I agree with you,
best
Calvin.
Managers after Fergie's clearly Van Gaal and Jose. Yeah. Big up, Yasser, what you're saying, man. Big up to you. People, slap up the likes and subscribe if you are new, people. Yeah.
Calvin, this stadium thing is just hype. It's hype because you can't say that we got no money and then you chatting about how much £1 billion stadium. Like in the same breath, in the same interview, we Gary Neville. It's like, bro, you just said that if we didn't do what we just done with swinging the axe, then by November we'd have no money. And then remember, he said he put in 300 million that disappeared, and the club made over 600 million. So that's 900 plus million just disappears in less than a year. And you chatting about new stadium? Come on, bro. What are we doing here? Like, I'm not a delusional fan. That's why I don't buy all this media hype. Fix the team. That's the priority. I said to JP, Champions League or bust. Norm, it's 100 million a team to get in the Champions League. You cannot afford not to be in the Champions League.
Yeah.
And so,
how do you think you'll get on this Thursday, playing at home to Leon? Onana is in the limelight yet again.
Chatting nonsense.
Chatting nonsense. JP said something. JP said something on the chat. What with that? Please enlighten the people in the chat. Enlighten the people in the chat, people. Big up, Shane. Don't subscribe to Shane Gooner. Big up every time. Every time. Shane Gooner. Fantastic. We was on the show last night together. Big up to you, bro.
Norms, I'm starting Tom Eaton tomorrow. Honestly, I said, Tom, brother, he's a good goalkeeper, and he hasn't got a chance for obvious reasons because he's on the least amount of money. But in a must-win game, after watching these two, to be fair to Bayern there, if that's how you say it, Bayern there.
Yes,
the way he commanded the box.
Money is here. Money is
here. Big up, Noski and Big Dave. What's going on?
Big up.
Yeah, man.
Barker Reacts, big up. Go and subscribe to Barker Reacts, man. Big up to it. Yes, man. I know you want us to win, Barker, man, because I know you're a Barcelona fan. So I get that, bro. Big up to you, bro. All the way in America. Not too sure what part of America, but let me know.
Yeah.
Let me know.
But yeah, this is my thing. The way he commanded his box, Norm, I thought was good against Newcastle. But again, that three. Well, when I say three, it's actually a 5-man defense because we're playing defensive wing backs. It's actually a 5-man defense with a holding CDM as well. So if all 5 of you and your midfielder cannot defend this goalkeeper, then what are we doing here, man? And apparently, Ananda tweeted after that game, "Who you gonna blame now?" And I was like, "This brother." That's what I heard. That's what he tweeted. I couldn't find the tweet. But someone said, like, because he didn't play, he's like, "Who you gonna blame now? You're gonna blame Bayern there now?" Because basically, what he's saying is, these guys in front of me are throwing me under the bus. That's what he's saying without saying it.
No.
So I actually think Anana, in his heart of hearts, wants to leave now because all that stuff is reckless. Like, what are you doing? And then he's chatting about he didn't know that he had to take a pay cut. He's only just realised after 3/4 of the way of the season that his money's been short every month in his wage packet. Like, talk to your agent, you idiot. What is that? Listen, man. If Secure Solutions, if they chef my money and I go to the bank to draw, I always draw 100 quid out just to have pocket change in my wallet. Yeah, I always do that. It's a thing for my dad. If I go to the bank on payday and go, whoa, I know when I'm 500 boys like, you know what I'm saying? Because they've missed off assignments. I'm straight on the phone to my boss saying, listen, I just went to the bank. That ain't it, sir. Run really about my money. You know what I'm saying? So how has Anana gone nearly a whole season to just now realize that his money's short? Man, stop that. Get a new agent if that's the case, because someone's clearly robbing you buying. Everyone knew no Champions League is a 25% pay cut. That's it. And remember, this is because of what Adidas do. Adidas, our main sponsor. Remember, this is Adidas, our £900 million sponsor over 10 years. Every time we don't qualify for Champions League, Adidas say, listen, yeah, you're not getting that much this year. And they pull back the money because basically what they want is a Man United shirt at Champions League football showing off Adidas logos, but not in it. We're not showing logos off. So they cut the money that is given every year over the 10 years. It gets cut every time we don't qualify for Champions League. So what the club do is say, right, players, in your contracts, it states in the very, very smallest of print, if we don't qualify, we take in 25% of your money. And you all signed it because you thought, yeah, man, we're always going to qualify. And now we ain't qualifying. You're crying about your money. Stop it. No one wants to hear that. You earn enough anyway.
Let's come to Ez. What you saying? How are you observing this from the outside, looking in on Man United? What are your thoughts on the whole thing of them, possibly going out on Thursday or going to the next stage? They do need to win the Europa League to try and get back in the Champions League. But when you look at the current squad, and you've heard what Gary Neville said, you've heard what Roy Keane has said, Soundbites and a bunch of bluffers. These guys cannot play the system. Basically, Gary Neville said they're just no good. They just can't. They don't know how to play football. They look like schoolboys against, Newcastle. Ruben playing, rather than playing a strong double pivot of Casemiro and Ugarte, he decided that he's going to go and play Eriksen in there. I mean, what are your thoughts, just quickly, on the whole situation and Man United's future going forward? Do you think they need to rip up the whole thing? Do you think they need to get rid of Ruben, or do they stick with him and a full rebuild? And what is that going to cost them? I know it's a lot to take in. I hope you break it down.
I mean, in short, you might agree, you might disagree. I think Man United need to have a look at themselves, and Radcliffe needs to look at what Ranić was saying with the Black Book.
Yeah,
because I think he was onto something there. There is a common consensus that if they sack the manager, that isn't going to fix the problem, because They've tried that with Ranić. They've tried that with ETH, despite winning 2 cups. We all thought it was ETH because they were backing him, right? They were buying players, whatever.
Yeah, they're back. They're probably the most backed manager since Fergie left.
Right. But then there's backing the manager with players, and then there's getting the right players. And I personally feel now that ETH is gone, the players are still there. I haven't seen Man United move mountains. So I personally feel like Man United need to go back to that black book thing and start again. The players are not good enough, and that means that Ruben needs to find a way to play, even if it's not his way for now. I know they've brought him from his comfy villa in Portugal, where he was flying high with Sporting, and he's feeling stubborn that they brought me here to play my football and them things there. But he needs to get you guys across the line this season, and if you can win that Europa League, that is a good sort of starting point to go, right, now we need to get my players to play my football. He can't do it with these, man. He can't. And if he does, he's going to die on his sword. You know what I mean? He needs to choose.
But this where I would counteract in terms of David Moyes. Comes into Everton, not his players. He's getting on with it, any. And this is all I'm saying, Ruben. I'm saying, bro, get on with it. Everyone knows this is not your players.
Yeah, this is true.
We're in a results business. Moyes just come in and said, right, can't get relegated. Just move to a new stadium. Okay, I'm gonna make some tweaks.
Yep.
Some players are not gonna like it, but I'm gonna get the points to keep us in the Premier League. Yep. And then in the summer, I'm not gonna.
We know they got the most. We know they got the most draws in the Premier League. But what I'm gonna say is, at least they're not losing. Yeah, exactly. They're not losing.
And so he can knock the door now and say, right, you got your new stadium. I've saved you from relegation. Now allow me to get 4 or 5 players in and move some deadwood out. He's got every right to knock the door and do that because he's proven that even with a team that's not his, he can get them up the table. They're above us. So this is what I'm looking at Ruben saying that we were a team 4 points off the top 6 when he took it over.
When he took over.
And now we're just treading water.
You could end up with the lowest. You could end up with the lowest.
Right,
finishing the lowest points tally, which is likely to. You need to win these next 6 games, If you lose these next 6 games, you'll probably end up finishing 17th, Big D.
Right.
Yeah. As William says here, the players aren't good enough, but Ruben is also not good enough. A manager that can't adapt will never be considered a good manager. Would you agree with him, Big D? Does he have
I'm not going to say that Ruben's not good enough. This is what I'm going to say is Ruben's got coaches that are younger than some of the current squad playing. I think that's a little bit of a red flag for me. I'm like, what do they know in football that you're going to teach older football players than you? You know what I mean? You look, you got 30-year-old coaches, and I'm like, you got players over 30 still playing in the playing squad. Bruno, Casemiro, Ericsson, Lindelof. These guys are all over 30, and they got younger coaches. And I'm like, what have they done in football that you're coaching? It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird for me. And I think he's got the balance right. I said, I remember saying this on the show, Norm, if Ollie wants to stay at Man United, Ollie needs to get some better coaches and just be that manager, that father figure, great with the lads, and let the older coaches come and coach his team. He never done it. He just wanted his mates. And eventually, that team got him fired. And you look at the experienced managers. I mean, we said it earlier, Louis van Gaal and Jose still couldn't get anywhere near a title with managers of that. So even if we went and got Don Carlo, would Don Carlo look at this squad and go, nah, man, give me 300 million and I'll take the job? That's what Don's saying. He's not going to come here and say, yeah, figure it out with this lot. He's not going to do it, even though I think he could do it. And that would mean incorporating some of the youth. Because if you look at it, we've got a nice balance of youth, but the senior players now, just not good enough, are they? Apart from Bruno, Casemiro, if you play him in a 3-man midfield, a proper 3-man midfield, he's fine. Don't play him in a pivot. You're going to get himself found out. Ericsson, you can only play Ericsson in a 10. Otherwise, you leave him alone. You don't put Ericsson in a double pivot against a 3-man midfield like Newcastle. We got battered in that midfield. 100%. It was like, what? So if I'm the fan and I know that's not the team to pick, then why is Ruben picking that team? What, to prove a point to who? You're already Man United manager. Who are you proving a point to that the squad is weak? We know the squad is weak, but at least put them in a position to compete. It's
Right,
mad, man. It's mad to watch.
Let me move this on quick because obviously I'm
Yeah, man.
conscious of time and whatever. Just looking at Tottenham's situation, and obviously Man United, you're both in the next in the quarterfinals of the Europa League. Yeah. Which one is likely to go further? And in terms of the quality of both managers, Ange Postecoglou or Postecoglou, I've got it here. What is this guy? I've put here. How bad has it got to get before Ange Postecoglou gets the chop? He plays Wolves, who won 4 games straight. He goes to Wolves and lose that game 4. The defending in that game, the goalkeeping, disaster. Absolute disaster. They're going to Eintracht Frankfurt. Yeah. Who's going the furthest? And even if, say, you know, Ange Postecoglou wins it or gets to the final, does he stay another year? Do you give him another year? Same with Ruben. Yeah, if he loses this, so I want you to be talking about both of them, you know, in tandem. Yeah, so we just kind of deal with both matters at the same time. Who's the better manager, and who's the one that's likely to get the chop? Ez first, quickly.
Go for it, Ez.
I personally think Ruben's the better manager. What's his name? Ange might play the better attractive football if you want, but Ruben's the better manager. Now, I think Tottenham would have sacked Ange if he was knocked out.
Better.
I mean, winning in Scotland can't be the same level as Portugal, in my opinion. Sorry.
Yeah, you can't.
But that's my opinion. Yeah. And he's really 15th, isn't he? Is he 15th?
Yeah, they're sitting 15th currently.
And
17 losses. 17 losses. They've lost more than they've won, right?
Yeah, these guys are below us,
more than half. Yeah.
I'm just got to say, look now. Yeah. So they're
17 losses.
Yes, 37 points.
They bought him a £65 million striker. Do you know what I mean? They've given him a good defender in Van de Ven. You know, he's got players. He's got players to play relatively. They should be doing better than they are. I think they're better equipped than United overall, depth wise at least. And I personally, that's a short answer. I think he would have been sacked if they weren't in the Europa League still. If they get knocked out of the Europa League, he's gone. They're trying to learn from that Jose Mourinho one where they sacked him a couple of days before final, but he'll be gone. So I think Ruben gets further. I think Ruben fixes it tomorrow. They get through. They'll go further than Spurs.
I mean, it is an unwanted record. Yeah, this is like the past manager for Spurs. So from 2015 to 2018, how many defeats do you think Mauricio Pochettino had between 2015 and 18? How many defeats do you think he's had?
Could have put a number in that. I don't think he lost lots, did he?
He didn't lose lots.
Yeah.
25, no?
17.
Ooh. 17 losses, wow.
Right. Ange Postecoglou, well, you've just already set it up, you guys.
Yeah, he's done it in a season. Wow. That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
right. Oh, no, that's not on. Don't get me wrong.
Pochettino needs to go back to Tottenham.
I think so.
Because as Shane said, Ange's a fraud.
Listen.
Ooh, that's bad.
Look, let's have it right. I don't know, Chile. I don't know where you are.
I don't know where he is. This guy's been ducking the show for weeks, and I'm gonna call him out. Weeks enough. Yeah, I know you're fed up at your club, but yo, you need to show your face, bro.
Spurs break managers, top managers. Spurs break them. Yeah, Spurs. It's in the DNA.
They do.
You know, Jose Mourinho didn't win anything. Conte didn't win anything. Nuno, who's flying at the moment, not done anything. Do you know what I mean? And look what he's done. Pop just and just gone there now. Now look, you know what I mean? Just get Poch back. You were made for each other. You were made for each other.
Yeah, exactly.
I heard Poch still goes for cafe and lunch in North London and all them things.
Is
He's
it?
still got his house up there. Yeah, could you imagine? Poch was coming down to Stamford Bridge, Cobham, and he was going for breakfast in North London first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Just
he
get him
never
back.
left us. He never left.
Guys, sorry, can I just cut you there? Newcastle are playing tonight.
Yeah.
Game in hand against Crystal Palace. If they win this game, they'll go third, and they'll probably be something like 4 or 5 points behind us. They're chasing us down.
Yeah,
Not only that, get well to their manager Eddie Howe.
Yeah, Eddie Howe. Yeah,
suffering with pneumonia. Looks like he's going to miss the rest of the season. So listen, prayers are out for him that he pulls through that, man, because there was rumors that he had possibly a heart attack or whatever it was. So I wasn't too sure.
Wow.
Hope it.
Wow.
You're driving. You're on the road. That's why you can't be on here. Well, you'll be glad that you're paying 400,000 for Mr. What you call it, the Egyptian king.
Done well with that.
Yeah, done well with that. And Van Dijk, Van Dijk. That's the next one over the line. And it looks like you're going to be doing some summer deals in the summer. So listen. Big up to Liverpool. They've done well this season. It's not the best vintage Liverpool I've seen because the league has been so poor. It's been so poor. But they're out there by themselves, and everybody else is just fighting amongst themselves. Yeah, you got the worst. You got the worst relegation fodder down the bottom there in Southampton, Ipswich, and Leicester. I mean, Van what's his name? Going there. Van Nistelrooy going to Leicester.
I think
he will leave at the end of the season. I'll take my Alfred. He stays down there, does whatever he does. But bro,
it's not much of a fight.
Terrible.
Is it?
And then there's this middle of the road stuff going on. You know what I mean? With Man United, you know, the likes of Tottenham or whatever. And then there's the fight for top 4. And I come on to Chelsea, my friend. Wagwan, my friend, quickly. What is going on? Yeah, you're playing at home and you're down 2-0 against the Black Brothers. Where's your dark glasses? Bro?
You know what? The worst thing I can do is have notifications on whilst I'm at church, brother.
You know that one?
My church starts at 1 p.m.
This is you on the drums. Yeah.
I'm missing the one. I'm missing the one. Do you know what I mean? I'm missing the one. I've got my music director looking at me like, what?
Yo, what?
I'm thinking, I'm to the stage where my church starts at 1 p.m. You know, I invite everyone to church, everyone. Anyway, my church starts at 1 p.m. So my match starts at 2 p.m. So I'm there, the phone's going off. I looked at 1-0. I said, that's all right, early, it's fine. 2-0, I turned my phone off. Turned it off. No, not even on silent, you know. I turned the phone off, brother. I just turned it off. Now I'm not even. And then by the time come out, I saw the final score at 2-2. Look, I said, wow. And it took a madness for us to even get 2-2. A lot of my fans are on my manager. They want him sacked, and I think we're spoiled, Chelsea fans. We're spoiled. We don't understand the fact that we've been shafted by a board that have brought loads of players that are just not ready to compete. We're not ready. We spent lots of money, and it makes it seem like we should be ready, but we're not. I personally think the manager should be able to put out any 11, and we beat Ipswich, who are gone. They're relegated. They're gone. He should be able to stand there like this. Now, if you need world-class tactics to beat Ipswich, you should know where you're at. If you need world-class tactics to beat Ipswich. I've watched Eddie Hearn and his assistants, no offense, go and do a good match against United. Eddie Howe, sorry. He's not even there. He's not even there. So you want me to believe that Maresca needed to come up with this fantastic plan to beat a team that's going down, who didn't even start their flagship striker. They didn't even start Liam Delap, you know.
No, they didn't.
They didn't even start him. Yeah,
and I know, you know, Man United are interested in him. A number of teams are interested in him because obviously,
everyone apart from Arsenal, basically.
Because if you look at it, they're probably thinking, if we need to sell him, like he can't get injured, innit?
No, you know they're starting to protect him now.
It's like, you know what?
I personally, I'm not looking at Maresca in this right now. Not right now, because I've seen the players in positions and in situations which they should manage a game, not manage a game, and they should be able to do that. And if they're not, I blame the recruitment as well. The recruitment's not been I think we're about where we should be with the players we bought. Let's be honest.
Well, you're gonna buy again this summer, aren't you? You're gonna buy again this summer.
Oh, come on! I'll be back on here giving it all the large.
Fabrizio Ez will be on it. But listen, people, my son is texting me saying he needs to set up the other stream, so I'm gonna quickly share this, which is the Fantasy Premier League. If we could just quickly go through that thing, and then I'll share the Prediction League table. I am loving the Prediction League table. I'm chasing down a certain brother. You know what I mean?
There we go. No, right. So don't forget. So these scores we're seeing now, we still got those teams that are in the double game week. That is going to look. So tonight's game will finish that. Those teams that play double game week. But as you can see, I'm looking at the climbers. I'm going to get on my phone here. So Del Grady is coming with that big old 70 so far, and I'm sure he's got players in the game tonight. Andy at the bottom actually had a decent 60 so far. I'm sure he's going to have players. Where's my lighters? Okay, your 10th is. Oh, you're on there. You're on there.
That's not bad. Yeah. Not bad. Okay. I'll take it.
Yeah.
We know Kofi's still on honeymoon, so forget that.
I mean, look at Malcolm X in the top 6, man.
Yeah, she's still trying to hang on to that. She's still trying to hang on to that. She's
hanging on. She's hanging on.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, she got a good gap from Phil Headley and
I think that's what she's trying to do. I think she's probably got some. I don't know, because if it's that game, because they're playing tonight, so will these people count for game week? Yes. This is game week 29.
She's got Isaac. Isaac's points. She's got Isaac in the squad, so does she have to actually go on their app and do anything, or will it just? No. It's automatic. So she's got she's got two Palace defenders, and Isaac to get points off tonight. So she's still
hopefully she'll be a bit of a
add to her tally. So in the running, Simon Jones is the guy that we got to rein in. He's got over 30 points on me.
Okay.
So. And Del Grade is coming for me on 2-4. It's interesting times.
Yeah, man. Well, let me just quickly share this one.
Yeah, no one can blink.
This is this one here, so. And right, if you look carefully, right, Kofi, that should have been where my arrow is. That should have been a blue thing from right to left. Yeah. My son forgot to change it to blue, so he had scored 30. He scored a point. For his prediction last week,
Kofi.
Kofi, yeah. So it should have been a red. Should have been a blue dot, not a red dot. Yeah.
A blue dot. Okay.
You see my green. You see my green, yo. Point behind Kofi now.
The last 5.
Look how many greens I've got this season.
Kofi been sleeping, bruh.
We need to look into that. I think.
There's no VAR. There's no VAR going on here. There's no VAR going on here, bro. There's no. And listen, unfortunately for JP, he just keeps going for Man United, and this is what happens when you go for club. He reflects. It obviously reflects because he's sitting down there in 5th place, or 6th place, should I say? And we have to think of a forfeit for this guy. So people, get your thinking caps on. The people in the chat, what will be the forfeit? Because it's looking like JP, unless he pulls something out the bag, unless his Man United team does something with the last 6 games, and he can. Pull back Big D and Chile. We'll see what happens. But as it stands, Kofi's sitting in 1st place on 31 points. And obviously, his actual team is looking like they're going to win the league either this weekend or the following weekend. And then there's me sitting in 2nd place FC.
Yeah, man. Liverpool can't win the league and win this as well. No, Chow, we can't have that.
I need to win this. And I don't want to be doing no guard of honor. Yeah, I don't want to be doing no guard of honor for anybody. I don't want to be doing no guard of honor. But look, people. Sorry for the rush, man, because normally we were still talking, but I've got a watch along to
big
do.
Game coming, man.
Got some of the last things there because I'm tweeting that I'm going live.
All the best. No, I'm putting my feet inside. I'm
no messing up, man.
Hashtag pray for Arsenal.
Put this to bed, man. Put this to bed, Norms.
So I hope
putting my feet in the side, man.
If you haven't liked and subscribed to the channel, please do that. Hit the like button, subscribe and share on the road to 1K. And I've been doing bits with other people. Big up to Shane, big up to Yassa. All them mans that we've been linking up and doing different streams together. So listen, we're hoping to, what did Jay say? This should be every week. Get out of here. Get out of here. What you saying? Big up Luca. Big up Luca. What you saying, man?
Big
up to you.
Luca.
Big up. Come on, Rel. Yeah, because you got knocked out by them.
What is wrong with Jay?
PSG knocked you out. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. But listen,
That's
people,
funny.
we must dash because I say I've got a Champions League to deal with, man.
Yeah.
So please,
this is on Prime right now.
No, it's on Prime. It's on TNT. TNT.
I thought it was on Prime.
TNT free. TNT free.
Okay.
So listen,
cool.
I've got another link, so I can post it in the chat. If you want to jump on and say your bits, you can. It's entirely up to you. But my son's got to set it up because I know D, you leave at 9. So if things are going nice and everything or going rosy, I'll put the other link in the chat. So if you want to, I'll chat. If you want to just jump on and just have a laugh at me after us going down 2-0 down in the first 10 minutes, then bro,
that can't happen, Norm. That can't happen, bro.
That can't happen. But listen, people, please hit like button, subscribe and share if you're new. We're out of here.
Man.
Take care.
Take care, guys.